Sup guys, today we're gonna be doing our Nubatama card review. After this we'll only have Naokami left, and Nubatama has been very interesting to see so far, because the stuff is like super unique to them, and I think they did Nubatama really well this set to not make them feel unfair and broken to play against, but still keeping like the same themes they've had before. Convert Demonic Dragon Magatsu Storm used to be a Murakuma unit, but now he's a Nubatama unit. So auto Vanguard, whenever he's attacked by an opponent's Vanguard, you can Counterblast 1, retire 2 rear guards, and he cannot be hit until the end of that battle. It works well against Kagero. Anything that guard restricts on a Vanguard, Kagero, Raven-haired, this card works super well against because they can't guard restrict a skill. You're able to handle a lot better guard restrict type decks through this skill, and it also helps against those decks that like gain hella power on the Vanguard with no guard restrict. Super cool card. I really like it. And then the second skill, auto Vanguard once per turn. Whenever your rear guard is returned to your hand during your turn, Soul Blast a grade 3, draw a card, and then call 3 cards from your hand to rear guard, and they get plus 5,000 power. This allows you to get some multi-attacking in with the Protect clan, which is really unique to them, and gives you like the options to like be super aggressive with your cards early on, and then a lot of your cards in this deck like bounce back to your hand. Then Magatsu Storm can call out all the less shieldy boys and just hit hard. So super nice, great card. It's just there might be another thing in this deck that might outshine it. Sure Stealth Dragon Kuji Quikongo. Act once per turn on Vanguard. If your opponent's hand has 4 or more cards, Counterblast 1, and the opponent discards a card from their hand. Auto Vanguard when your opponent's rear guard is returned to the hand due to your card's ability. Your opponent cannot call cards with the same grade as the returned card's grade until the end of the turn. Making them discard a card each and every turn through Kuji Quikongo for having a big hand is really good. His second effect is super cool. So they're kind of keeping on with the theme of making it hard for your opponent to guard. Instead of doing like discard or bind mechanics, they're now doing it to where you punish them for playing rear guards. And if they don't play rear guards, then they don't really get that. They get the Vanguard attack, and they can't really hit you. So this punishing them for playing rear guards and making it harder for them to guard during the turn is really good. And this card has the support to be really solid in a lot of matchups and can end games by itself. Stealth Beast Kokushigarasu. Vanguard of Rearguard, Soul Blast 3, discard 2 Sentinels, and he gets plus 15,000, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you bounce the field back to their hand, and if they returned anything, they have to discard 5 cards. So you combo this with Kuji Quikongo, and so if they have grade 1s and 2s on the field, then Kokushigarasu will bounce them all back to their hand, and they can't guard with 1s or 2s for the turn. So then they can only guard with 0s. Yeah, if they are like playing only 1 or 2 rear guards, and you do this to them, then they're minusing for not playing more rear guards. This deck is like the noob killer. It will slay anyone who ain't really careful, because you need to watch out for Kuji Quikongo and Kokushigarasu. But if you do watch out for that and they're on Magatsu, then it's going to be a lot harder to actually kill them. So this deck is like the gatekeeper, I'd say, to being decent to a good player through Kokishigarasu and Kujikuri Kongo. Stealth Dragon Void Master. Auto Vanguard a rearguard when placed until the end of the turn your opponent cannot intercept, and he gains 3000 power. And then Vanguard a rearguard at the end of the battle that it attacked. Counterblast 1, choose one of you or your opponent's rearguards and return it to your hand. This is great with Kujikuri Kongo and Magatsu Storm. So with Kujikuri Kongo, it's a target thing. You target one of the rearguards, then bounce it to their hand, so you target a grade that you don't want them to be able to guard with, that they have on the field, and then they can't guard with it that turn. Or you can bounce one of your rearguards back to your hand, and then Magatsu Storm can do his effect and call out a whole new field. Void Master is like a good grade 3 enabler for both of these good boss monsters, and then his first skill makes him a 15k, and then prevents them from intercepting, which prevents them from being able to guard more. Being 15 with an 8k booster brings you to 23, which hits Force Clans. This is a really good grade 3 support unit. It's going to be used a lot, at least a one of, in both versions of the deck. Stealth Rogue of 1000 Blades, Oboro Zakura. Auto rearguard when placed. If you have 3 or more units, Counterblast 1. And he gets plus 6000 power for the turn. And if you have 1 or less face-up cards in your damage zone, Soul Charge 1. Notice how it says 3 or more units, so it counts your Vanguard too, and it doesn't say other, so it counts himself. So you really need to have 1 other rearguard on the field in order to activate this effect. You can very easily get to 15k, and then you use a lot of Counterblast in this deck, so being able to Soul Charge 1 off of him is going to be super easy too. So it's really good. It helps fuel you back up, and then it also gives you a power boost, which brings you to 15, and then with a 8k booster, 23, so it hits Force Clans nicely. So yeah, this is a great card. Stealth Dragon Magatsu Gale. On Vanguard or rearguard, when placed, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and he gains plus 6. And then on rearguard at the end of the battle that it attacks, put him into Soul and return a rearguard from your field to your hand. So he replaces himself off playing him, and he brings himself to 15k, which with an 8k booster brings you to 23. So there seems to be a running theme. This might be like the hella anti force deck. So he replaces himself, makes him 15, and then being able to put him into Soul and then bounce one of your rearguards to your hand really sets up Magatsu Storm, because it opens up 2 of your front row rearguards for Magatsu Storm to do his effects to. So super nice, really, really great card. Momentary Stealth Rogue Tsunamasa. Rearguard on play. Give one of your units plus 3000, and if you gave it to a grade 3, you Soul Charge 1. And then at the end of the battle that it attacked, you can Soul Blast 1 and bounce himself to your hand. You can give this to your Vanguard every turn, so then your 12Ks become 15Ks, which with an 8K booster goes up to 23. And then, so you can constantly keep Soul Charging, which this deck uses quite a bit of Soul. Being able to bounce himself back to your hand, so then you can activate the Soul Charge skill again. It infinite loops itself in a way. It fuels its own second skill every time you play it, so that's super cool and unique, and I think this card's really good. Show Stealth Dragon Kabuki Kongo. When played on rearguard, if your Vanguard is Kujikuri Kongo, he gets plus 3. He can Counterblast 2 and return the same column that he's in on the opponent's field to their hand. And then they discard cards equal to the number of cards they bounced. This pretty much does what the Kagashigarasu wanted to do, but a lot cheaper of a cost, and can go off a lot quicker. So it doesn't also interfere with Shigarasu, so you can constantly like pressure with Kabuki Kongo then until you get to Shigarasu, and then you'll have the tools needed to pretty much make them not able to guard if they keep calling stuff to rear guard. So really good card. Stealth Dragon Dam Breach. On rear guard, if your rear guard was returned to your hand during this turn, he gets +6. It's a continuous and not an auto, so it only procs once per turn. He goes up to 15, which lets you hit Force Clans with an 8k booster. He's kind of alright. There's not really much space for him because there's a lot of other 9ks that gain +6 power. With a cost, of course, but they can do a lot more. Like Magatsu Gale and Obuzaraku. He's not going to be ran because he doesn't have the utility that is needed in this deck in order to keep going. But in like a budget form, he's alright. Stealth Beast Chigasumi. On rear guard, whenever it attacks, discard a card from your hand, and he gets plus 15,000 power for the battle. So it goes up to 24, and then with an 8k booster, he'll be 31. So this goes really well with Magatsu Storm, because Magatsu Storm will be able to call this thing out, and you might be able to do this multiple times if he's on your field before you Magatsu Storm. So you can like Chigasumi attack and then do Magatsu Gale and put it into Soul and then have Chigasumi go back to your hand and then do Magatsu Storm to call back out Chigasumi and swing again for a 29 by itself. Super cool. There's a lot of neat little tricks you can do with this thing to constantly keep pressure up. It's just discarding card is quite a hefty cost in a deck that doesn't really gain advantage other than just reusing stuff they've already played. Next we got Tempest Stealth Rogue Fuki. On rear guard, if you or your opponent's rear guard was returned to your hand during this turn, he gets plus 6. So it's the same as like grade 2 we just looked at, but it's a lot better. Because this would be a 14k booster. And with the normal 15k grade 2s we've been having, it would be 29. That's huge. That's a huge number. You can very easily take one of your columns to another stage. Super nice. Really good card, probably one of the better grade ones in here. Stealth Fiend Oboro card. On rear guard, when placed, discard a card. Double the power of one of your grade 3 or greater units in the same column as him. And then also, on rear guard, at the end of the battle that it boosted, you can counterblast one and bounce him to your hand. So, nutty card. So, you have Shigarasu, and then you do Shigarasu's effect to bounce the field to the hand, and then it goes up to 26. And then Oboro card, you play him in double Shigarasu up to 52. And then plus the boost from Oboro card, so that's 60,000 off a rear guard column. Then you can also combo him with Magatsu Storm. You have, let's say, Voidmaster and Oboro card in one column, so that'll be a 38k column. And then you have something else on the other column. You attack with that other column, and then you attack with Voidmaster and Oboro card. And then at the end of the battle, you do Oboro card to bounce himself back to your hand. And then you do Magatsu Storm to call out another grade 3 in front of Oboro card and call Oboro card back out again, and then call another unit, and then you got another huge column to attack with. So, super cool card and really good. I think this is a must-have in every Nubatama deck. Stealth Dragon Dreadmaster. On Vanguard or rear guard, whenever you play him, you discard a card from your hand and draw a card. And if your Vanguard is Kujuku Kongo, then Soul Blast 1. And your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and bounces it to their hand, and then they discard a card from your hand. He cycles through your deck a lot more, and through Kujuku Kongo, he restricts the opponent from guarding with something again. through bouncing, and then they have to discard a card. Super cool. It's probably the worst of the Kujuki Kongo support, but he still does a lot. He actually has some use in non-Kujuki Kongo builds, or like hybrids, because you could still cycle through your deck. So, good card. Probably a must-have in your collection, at least. I don't know if he's going to be ran in the deck immediately. We'll see. Stealth Dragon Magatsu Breath. On rearguard, whenever you play him, if your Vanguard is Magatsu in its name, he gains +3, so he becomes an 11k booster. On rearguard, at the end of the battle that it attacked or boosted, Soul Blast 1, discard a card, and then bounce all of your rearguards in the same column as him to your hand, including himself. So you free up a column from Magatsu Storm. That's huge. Being able to free up a column and then call a booster without having to worry about retiring the thing behind him. He does a lot. He lets you be more aggressive without worrying about really getting rid of cards in your hand. He sets up Magatsu Storm, and then he also can help out a Boro card proc off again on your next turn, or in the same turn with Magatsu Storm. Really cool card. Really nice. Stealth Rogue of the Night, Sakura Fubuki. Auto rearguard when placed. If you have 3 or more units, discard a card from your hand, and it gets +3. And if you have 1 or less face-up cards in your damage zone, draw a card and countercharge 1. Him gaining 3,000 power is nice. Brings him to 11,000. He lets you countercharge and draw a card for using your skills. That's really nice. This is a 4 in every Nubatama deck. Being able to constantly draw more cards and thin through your deck and countercharge to use more of your skills, it rewards you for spamming your skills. It's great. Great card. 4 in every Nubatama deck. Stealth Beast Hagakure. On rearguard a Guardian Circle, when placed, choose one of your units, and until the end of the battle, increase or decrease the power and the shield of this unit to the same number as that chosen unit. And it has 0 shield, but not a Sentinel. This is the first time we've seen something like this, and it's really cool. The only problem is that it ain't good, because you have to have the unit on your rearguard, but with the deck, you're bouncing your stuff to your hand. It might be really nice doing your turn, just not on the defensive side. During your turn though, you can call this, and if you had like an Oboro cart and you did that to a grade 3, you can call this to the other column and have this become the power of the Oboro carded unit. So then you have 2 units that just got Oboro carded for the price of 1. Really cool. In that case, it might be a decent card, but it has a lot of setup it kind of needs to do for it to be useful, because I think most of the time it's going to be a dead card that won't be able to do much. And that is all for the Nubatama review. In TLDR, Magatsu Storm and Kujuku Kongo, both really good boss units and could be used in the same deck. I think all the grade 3s in this deck can be used in the same deck. Shigarasu sets up Kujuku Kongo really well. Void Master sets up both of them really well. Magatsu Storm helps against the Guard District decks, and Kujuku Kongo punishes players for being aggressive and wanting to play rearguards. I hope you all enjoyed this. Next we're going to be doing Naokami and the last set of Miyaji. And then afterwards I'm going to be doing a bunch of deck profiles, like multiple of each of these clans. So can't wait to do all that for you guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.